NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
San Diego has 8 community outbreaks in the past 7 days, hitting one of the triggers that could lead to tighter coronavirus restrictions just as many businesses begin to reopen. This comes as Governor Newsom announces mandatory facial coverings for the entire state. Thank you for joining us for the Nightly Check-In. I'm Catherine Garcia.
For the first time, crossed one of the triggers, and today we are reporting and sharing that we have had 8 community outbreaks.
So the trigger number is 7 outbreaks over a 7-day period, so we've exceeded that. But despite going over, county leaders say they won't make any changes to current public health orders. Right now, there are 16 active outbreaks. An outbreak is 3 positive COVID cases in one location. A majority of these outbreaks occurred at medical offices, manufacturing and repair facilities, and food processing facilities. There's also a growing concern about outbreaks happening at gatherings in private homes. Since we've hit one of those triggers, the county says they'll be looking to step up enforcement.
And we will be looking and monitoring to see if there are other isolated instances where there's clear and egregious violations of the public health order that we believe compromise the public safety and public health moving forward. And we will be stepping up our activities of possible enforcement activities in a very targeted way.
So no definitive punitive action is being taken despite hitting one of the triggers, but county leaders continue to ask everybody to cooperate, to wash their hands, to wear a mask, to stay socially distanced. That news from the county comes as restaurants in the Gaslamp Quarter start serving dine-in customers on the street. Right now, a stretch of Fifth Avenue is closed off to traffic to allow for more eating space under a new program called Curbside Gaslamp. Fifth Avenue will be closed from L to Market Streets on Thursdays and Fridays from 3 in the afternoon to midnight, and then on Saturdays from noon to midnight. That will allow people going to restaurants and bars in the area to spread out and to avoid the crowds like we saw this past weekend in Little Italy. With news of community outbreaks and restaurants reopening, a restaurant in Little Italy decided to close down for 2 weeks after learning that one of its employees tested positive for coronavirus. Douglas Ham is the owner of Nolita Hall, and he says the decision wasn't easy after barely just reopening on May 29th, but he says he wanted to be transparent with his customers and his staff for their own safety.
We try to walk the line and stay open, maybe, but the reality is, who am I to make that call? We have to be safe, and so immediately decided to close for 14 days. Following that came, okay, what are the next steps to limit liability, make sure staff and guests are taken care of, and we're transparent with them.
Ham says his employees will have to take a COVID-19 test before they get back to work. Nolita Hall plans to reopen again for business again in a few weeks. The next round of businesses is still on track to reopen tomorrow. Nail salons, tattoo shops, massage businesses, and other personal care businesses will be allowed to reopen Friday. Some of those businesses we've spoken with say they're already booking up appointments weeks in advance. As a growing number of states reopen popular venues, including bars and nightclubs, there is new concern that those places could become hot spots for spread. They're called super spreaders, actually. Large, close gatherings where the virus spreads like wildfire from just one infected person to an entire crowd. Researchers say indoor social gatherings are the riskiest, with virus droplets spreading not just from sneezing or coughing, but also something like loud talking or singing.
When you're taking deep breaths and you're loud and propelling with your voice, it travels further.
Public health officials are also concerned about outbreaks due to large outdoor gatherings, things like the recent mass protests and marches across the country. The White House task force is predicting a possible surge in cases from those events by the end of this month. In a surprise decision today, the U.S. Supreme Court blocked the Trump administration's efforts to end DACA, the Obama-era program that lets children brought to this country illegally as children to avoid deportation.
I thought I was dreaming, and I was crying.
San Diego Dreamers celebrated today's decision, including 32-year-old Rosario Sotelo. She was just 4 years old when her mom and other family members crossed the border illegally, looking for better opportunities. Despite the win for Dreamers, the door is still open for the Trump administration to try again to shut down DACA by offering a more detailed justification. Well, the weekend is almost here, of course. Dagmar will have your forecast after a quick break.
NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800
How is open to provide customers with repairs and services. We have taken additional measures to keep our customers and technicians safe. We will continue to provide San Diego with trusted, exceptional service.
Because we know how.
Here's what we're looking at for Friday. It will be absolutely spectacular out there again. Starting to notice just the tiniest bit of a warm up now in all 4 forecast zones. That will leave the coast. When I say tiny, I'm talking 1 or 2 degrees. So that will leave the coast instead of the upper 60s, maybe in the low 70s. Partly cloudy skies on and off. Inland valleys still mid to upper 70s. Mountains 1 or 2 degrees warmer now. You're looking at mostly sunny skies as well. And the deserts, yeah, also 1 or 2 degrees. But that 1 or 2 degrees by the time you get to the middle of next work week is going to add up. For now, enjoy your Friday. It will be beautiful.
Keeping kids engaged and active while stuck at home can be a big challenge, but there's a resource for parents that's aimed at getting kids interested in science. Mad Science usually offers after-school workshops and programs, but the website has now had the chance to change things up a bit and move everything online. So now they're offering some fun experiments you can do at home and get the whole family involved.
See right here is called sublimation. You see the dry ice in here is solid and it's turning into a gas. That process is called sublimation. And this gas is really cold, which means that it sinks. And the Mad Science shower is nothing else but this. So I can give myself a shower. It's out of my hair, all that.
Mad Science also is offering some resources on the website for kids to start thinking about what it would be like to pursue a career in STEM. It's going to be a special Father's Day for a San Diego man celebrating the birth of his son, a baby who happens to be the 6,000th baby born at UC San Diego Health's birth center. The baby boy, named Ivan Gonzalez, was born on June 3rd, the son of Hugo and Carla Salazar Gonzalez. The center opened back in September 1999 and is one of the few in-hospital birth centers in the nation. So a big congratulations to the couple. That's going to do it for our nightly check-in. Have a good night.